Alright, so what's going on? Navy Vet 88 here with another video for you guys today. This video actually was requested by a few people inside of the comment section from one of my previous videos, which was about the pretty much the vertical grip, how it's actually used, how it was used in the past, how people use it now, regulations and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to get back into that. So if you want to see that, go check out the video once you get done watching this video. All right, so right here, as you can see, this is my 14.5 inch BCM build. It is pin and welded at the front. You might not be able to see the pin and weld, but it's actually there. Since it's under the 16-inch mark, you have to actually have it pin and welded as far as your barrel length is concerned. I don't like it, but hey, those are the rules and the regulations that the ATF like to set. So, you know, I'll try to adhere to it because nobody wants to go and do no fed time over something that you're using to protect your life in a safe and legal, law-abiding citizen type of way. So starting off, this weapon is clear. As you can see, there is nothing in the magazine, so I'll slap that back in there. As you can see right here, starting off, the bolt carrier, or the bolt, should I say, that we have inside of here is a BCM bolt. Bolt carrier that I got, this one a few years back, I'm not sure. But when I was building this rifle out, I knew I wanted to go with BCM as far as all of my uppers are concerned because I really like BCM's products. I'll go ahead and lock this back. And as you can see right here, for the charging handle, we are running the Yardley Super Duty charging handle. As you can see, it's ambidextrous, so you can pull it on both sides. And that's a benefit for people depending on how you like to run your rifle. Some people like to pull their charging handle back like this, reaching over. Some people, like myself, like to pull it on the left side, but I do like the option to put both of my fingers in between, and I can pretty much pull it like that together. So that is the bolt carrier, as well as the charging handle that I have on here. Up front, as you can see, this is our Streamlight ProTac. I think it is the ProTac 2, if I'm not mistaken. If it isn't, then somebody let me know in the comment section. But this is the Streamlight ProTac 2. Love this weapon light. I'm a big Surefire guy when it comes to weapon lights, but Streamlight is pretty much the next step in my opinion. Some people might say Cloud Defense or what have you, but I really like Streamlight, and I like all of their products that they've put out that I've actually used, and I never had any issues with their products. As you can see, it is on an offset mount. So if you look at it from this angle, it is pretty much offset, like I said. And I like it. It's beneficial, keeps it to the side, keep it close up to my barrel, and I've never had any issues when it comes to the blast or the muzzle blast and the actual lens or anything like that when it comes to actually firing this weapon. So it does stand up very, very well when it comes to actually using it, shooting, and having it so close to your actual muzzle device or muzzle tip. As you can see, it has an actual pressure pad. Now this pressure pad is only for a pretty much on and off. You can go here with your light like this, pretty much just a single beam, and then if you double tap, you will get your strobe. But you can only use this for a momentary purpose. If you want to go and use it for a audible on and off, there is a button that is like right here, and it's pretty much a little rubber button, and you can pretty much click it on like that and click it off. Now if you're operating this weapon and you're here with it and you're using your actual pressure pad, you could pretty much just push your thumb over like this, and then now you have it on and off. So you can still kind of use that pressure pad technique, but you can also cut it on, and then you can also cut it off. If you need to strobe, you can cut it on for full strobe, and then you could cut it right back off. So I think that's a really good feature to have in any weapon light that you choose to pretty much go with. I like the strobe aspect, as well as just pretty much the regular on maintain light. Let's stick up in the front section. As you can see right here, the rail coverage that we have right here, as well as right here, and then of course we kind of have some at the bottom, and it's more so just for comfort more than anything. Because I shoot in the C-clamp position, so sometimes I'll shoot like this, and if I am shooting like this, it's pretty comfortable with the tape and the adhesiveness that kind of comes off, and then having something that's not so slick like the rest of the Handguard is. But I typically shoot like this here, but if I wanted to kind of come back a little bit and pretty much rest my arm from being so extended for an extended period of time, then I'll pretty much just come back here a little bit, and it works just as fine. Now, the vertical grip that we have on here, I used to have a BCM vertical grip, but it used to be a Magpul vertical grip, but I changed it out. If you look in the last video, I told you about this vertical grip when I got it from a gun store that's pretty much right down the street from my house. It was just something different, something new. I liked it, so I went ahead and got it. And of course, this tape is pretty much for just aesthetics. I changed this tape out a lot because goon tape has so many different variations. Well, I think I have about 4 or 5 of their variations of their goon tape. So this is goon tape also. This is goon tape. I have black, I have another green, I have a tan. As you can see, I have the multicam. So I just like to play around with the tape a lot, honestly. I just like the aesthetics of it. I like that once you have it on for a while, it starts to get like a little tacky feeling to it. So I really think that helps with overall comfort when you're actually handling your firearm. But that's my opinion though. Some people might see it a little differently, but for me, that's just pretty much what works for me, and I like it, so I'm gonna keep using it. For our sights right here, you can see we have the Magpul M-Bus sights in the front and also in the rear. And these do flip up. We'll pop this other one up in the back. So this is what it pretty much looks like when it's pretty much up in the up position, and then it is co-witnessed through my EOTech. No, I take that back. It's not co-witnessed through the EOTech. This EOTech is actually on the riser, but we'll get around to that. These right here. Now, if I didn't have the riser on the actual EOTech, then it would be co-witnessed. But I'm not really tripping on that. This rifle isn't made for any extreme out of nowhere condition. It's just pretty much a rifle I like to take to the range, play around with it, and of course, you know, if I needed to use it in any other type of scenario, then I'm good to go. As far as my sights, you know, I got a tool, just pretty much pop that riser off, which is Unity, but I'll get to that in a set off. Keep a little tool right here inside of the pistol grip. It's kind of just taped on, so if I need to pull it out, just reach out, twist it off, and it don't take a lot of pressure to take these to undo these screws anyway. So you just take it off just a tad bit, and you could just pull the whole thing right off. Okay, so at the tip here, as you can see, we have the BCM. I think this is the Mod X2, if I'm not mistaken, Mod X2 BCM muzzle device. It looks like your typical mil-spec bird cage, which I guess it kind of is, but at the end of the day, it's a BCM product, and they did a good job with this. That flash hider that it has on it is really, really good in comparison to your regular $15 run-of-the-mill bird cage, A2 bird cage, flash hider, what have you. This is good work right here. And like I said, it looks pretty traditional, just like any other type of bird cage muzzle device that you would get, but this thing really does its job very, very well in comparison to something that you would get from, you know, anywhere. Palmetto, you might find one, Anderson, really, really low price at like 10 bucks, and you go with that, but you're not going to get the same results from that as you would get from this BCM. All right, so this upper, as you can see, like I told you, it's a 14.5 pin and well. This upper is actually a BCM upper. So the rail, handguard, all of this coming all the way back to the upper is all BCM. As you can see, it's stamped right there also. So all of this was put together, and all of it is pretty much a BCM build. Like I said, this entire upper BCM, muzzle device BCM, I said entire upper bolt inside, of course, BCM. All right, as you can see right here, we'll flip this window up right fast. Now this magazine release is by Geisley also. It's Geisley Super Duty mag release. It's very, very bulky, and it protrudes out a lot, and I really enjoy it. I think it's really, really smooth. It's easy to just kind of push into it, but not so easy that you will accidentally hit it and then your stuff will pop out. So I really like that about it. You put a little pressure on it, and it's so far out that it really is a good feeling. Of course, you can see the texturing on it right there also. And it feels really good. Like I said, you're not gonna really like accidentally pop it out unless you really want it to come out, and then, you know, of course, it's already out. So now flipping it over, as you can see, our safety selector is very odd shaped and looking. As you can see right here, it has a little pad on it. I'm not sure if you can see the padding. So you can see the little pad on it. And this safety selector is by Strike Industries. But as you can see right here, also safety selector. So I'll push it down, push it up, and it has that nice little pad section right there. So it really helps when you're trying to get your finger on it. You can feel it at all times. It, like I said, it kind of protrudes out, so it really does help with the fingering of it. It really does help with the fingering of it if you want to just kind of pop down, pop up, pop down, pop up. It's nice, it's nice. So I come in here and then go in there, simple. All right, now the trigger that I went with is the CMC trigger. I'm not sure of the exact model, but it's the CMC flat trigger or flat face trigger, however you want to go with it. One of my first rifles that I ever built out had the LaRue Tactical flat trigger, and it was kind of similar as far as looks are concerned. But the only difference in between this one and the LaRue Tactical that I had was the LaRue had about a 2.5, maybe 2.5 trigger pull. It was really light, really light. I forget this one is. This one kind of feel more like 2.8, maybe 3. But it's butter. That's all I can say. It's butter. I've loved this trigger since I put it in there. I did some research, asked some friends. They told me to CMC, try it, and I tried it, and I love it. That's what the trigger is that we're running. As you can see right here, CMC trigger. And now the pistol grip, as you can see, anybody who knows Daniel Defense, they probably noticed this the first thing. Even in the thumbnail, when you see it, you'll probably be like, oh, is that a Daniel Defense build? Like, no, it's not a Daniel Defense build, but I really do like the grip that they make, the angle of it, and it kind of gets into here. So your the webbing of your hand, as you can see right here, is kind of indention right there. And then, as you can see, it's an indention right there. So once you put the web of your hand into it, it pretty much just fits like a glove right in between it. So I really like this pistol grip. I've run a few different Magpul grips, pistol grips, and I didn't have any problems with them. And I ran, I want to say, a B5 Systems grip. Really liked it. But this Daniel Defense pretty much has always been my favorite. It's sprayed. I sprayed about 2 or 3 times. So that rubber feeling is kind of still actually there, which I knew it would be, because spraying on the metal or whatever material that you're using is still, it'll kind of stick for a while if you do it right. But I know that painting something and spraying something that's like this rubber texture, I know that over time, just grabbing and shooting, all of the movement in it, it'll eventually wear off. But I like that wear off feeling of it, because I still have the color that I like, and I still have that grip and that sticky tackiness. And basically, just like I said with the goon tape, after you have it on for a while and you start putting your hands on it, you kind of get that tacky feeling. I think they made it for that, but I'm not sure. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't care for that, but seeing how easy it is to start doing it once you've wrapped it, I kind of feel like it's supposed to be that way. So I like it. Some may not, but hey, you know, you live and you learn with some of this stuff. You find out what you like, what you don't like. There you go. All right, since we're right here and I was talking about the EOTech, we have the EOTech XPS 3-0 with the night vision capability. As you can see right here, we have our up, down, of course, with the illumination intensity, and then in the middle you have a button for your night vision. I thought about getting the attachment so that I can get the quick detach put on here and installed on the actual optic itself. So now it pretty much turns it into the EXPS 3, which I think the only difference between the XPS 3 and the EXPS 3 is the actual quick detach option. You know, so it's on here. If I want to use it, I can. If I want to take it out, pop off, then I can use my flip ups, and you know, everything will be just fine. So that's the optic. Really nice, really durable, held up over time, no issues with it. As long as you put the good batteries in there, you'll be fine. I think I'm running the Surefire batteries. I forget the names, like the A123s or something like that, little smaller ones. And like I said, I haven't had any issues at all. I really like it. It's, like I said, durable. It stood the test of time. Never lost zero. I've had it one time where I didn't shoot for maybe about 4 or 5 months. And when I went to go back out and check my zero, it was perfect. And I know some optics, like some of my Holosun optics, you know, if you're not shooting that gun for a week and you go back, you're pretty much gonna have to re-zero. It may not be a major re-zero, but you're gonna have to do it, because it just, for some reason, the hollows and red dots that I've used on rifles, they just do not hold their zero. A friend of mine, you can go check out his channel, it's called It's On You. He showed me this little trick that he did where he pretty much used a marker and he marked it once he got his zero right. And then after he got his zero right, he used, I think he said he used something like fingernail polish, like the clear coat. And he put just a little bit of clear coat in that section where the lines meet at for having it zeroed to where he wanted it. And he said that that pretty much is kind of acts like a glue or an adhesive, and it kind of actually keeps it from actually spinning on its own or moving on its own, and it keeps your zero. But I don't feel like I need to have to do all that when you buy good quality products. You know, those things never happen. All right, at the top here, as you can see, we have, it's an offset. This is by Magpul. It's an offset sling attachment or offset QD sling attachment. And I've run this for a little while. I actually like the offset option of it because it does actually have it off to the side, but it's still angled. And when I'm shooting, if I'm coming close like this, and I have my hand behind my actual vertical grip, it's not so far here that my hand is like banging on it. It's, you know, it's kind of got that tilted, like I say, 45-degree angle. I love it. All right, so with our sling, we are running the Ferro Concepts. This is the Ferro Concepts Slingster. Yeah, it's the Slingster in multicam, as you can see. And I'll pop this off. I pretty much keep it wrapped around here for retention, just so it's not hanging and dangling all over the place. It is a 2-point sling, but it also is an adjustment. So if you see right here, nice rubber tab pull, very sturdy. When you get your hands on it, you really can get you a good, you know, good take on it. And as you can see right here, I put some goon tape on it because it kind of kept banging up on my other rifle, and it was kind of scratching the side of the upper receiver because of where I had it placed at. And I didn't like that. I didn't like I mean, I don't mind the rifle getting scratched or anything like that, but I felt like that was just kind of careless scratching more than anything. So what I did was on that metal piece, I pretty much just covered it with some goon tape, and now it can just hit up on there all day, no problem. And of course, like I said, this is adjustable, so all you have to do is pretty much just pull some tension on it, and then there you go. Got a long sling, and then if you want to pull it back in, you could just pull that tab back, and as you can see, all of the retention comes right back to you, and then that helps for you when you're getting ready to pretty much store it like I store it. Okay, so the stock that we're running is a Magpul stock. It's pretty much the standard Magpul stock if you ask me, because I see them on every weapon online, and when I go to their page and you search for M4 stocks, this is pretty much the first one that pops up. And I think it's probably their most popular, I'm not sure. Now I do run a B5 system stocks on one of my other rifles, and I really like it. But I really like this though. I mean, it's smooth, it's slim, it's not too big, but it's not too, you know, narrow and thin, almost like you would have a brace or something. But I mean, it just works. They did their thing when they made this. So kudos to Magpul for this stock. I don't know if this is the best stock y'all have in the market that's selling, but you did a good job with it. That's all I'm gonna say. So in the rear, as you can see right here, I'll take off, this is our QD attachment. Now in the rear, as you can see back here, this actually connects onto a BCM end plate. So this BCM end plate, I got it just for that, you know, pretty much that factor. And I wanted a lot of the parts to match on certain things. So when I got my sling swivels, I wanted to make sure that I got BCM sling swivels. And then when it came to my end plate in the back, I wanted to get a BCM end plate. So something that I didn't talk about was the bolt release, or bolt catch, bolt lock, whatever you want to call it. And it is also by Strike Industries right here. So my safety selectors, as you can see right here, are, I'm trying to move my finger so you might be able to see it, but yeah, my safety selectors here are from Strike Industries, as well as this bolt release, bolt lock. It is also from Strike Industries. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, because I pretty much almost forgot once I flipped the rifle over, but we'll keep it spinning. All right, so I'm not sure if I talked about it, but I know you already know. Magpul 30-round magazine. Some people call it high cap. It's pretty much standard to me. Standard 30-round Magpul magazine, and we go always keep saying that it's a standard 30-round magazine. It is not a high cap magazine. All right, so if you've been wondering what the lure is, it is actually a Shield Arms lure. I had this lure specifically for this rifle build because of one particular thing. And that thing is, if you press here, you can pretty much drop your stock. It's folded in. Now it's taking up a little bit of space. So even though it's a 14.5, you can actually, shorten it up a little bit. So I got this Shield Arms lure receiver for a reason, and that was because of this actual folding option that it provides you. So if I bring it back here, it's locked into place, and you can see you have a full 14.5 inch rifle. And then if I wanted to break it down some, I could just come over here, fold it in, and then now I have a smaller package. So if I did want to make it a bag gun or something like that, I could. I still feel like it's a little bit longer for a bag gun, but depending on how you have it set up, I would probably take this vertical grip off and then go with something that's more of an angled hand stop, but the kind of angled hand stop that are really, really short. I would go with something like that, and then once you go that way, it takes up less space, and depending on how big the bag is, I mean, you got a duffel, you could really put this in a duffel, but as far as like a backpack, I don't think so much. I think it would just be too large unless you were running like a major size backpack with a lot of length on it, maybe like a hiking backpack that's, ready for a week's worth of gear and all that stuff. Then yeah, maybe you'll be able to put this in there, but anything else, nah, I don't think you'll be able to get it in there. But I do like that concept that they came up with. Now in the rear, like I said, I always wanted this folding adapter application to be able to be had on one of my rifles. When I was looking into the Law Tactical, I realized that the Law Tactical made it actually longer when you had the adapter on it, because there is a piece that you will put on the lower receiver in the back that will come out to about right here, and then you still have another piece which is a part attached to the stock itself. So even when you collapse it, it's still a little bit longer. But as you can see right here on the lower, this pretty much comes right here, and it's pretty much flush. It's almost flush like it's a handgun, honestly. So if it were here like this and I'm holding it with one hand, you could pretty much see that it is really a better option when it comes to having that whole folder adapter situation, if that's what you want to go with. But if you don't want to go with that, check out Shield Arms. This is the Shield Arms SA15, I want to say. Perfect. The buffer inside is a buffer that comes actually with it because it's made specifically for this rifle. So the buffer and the spring that's inside, it all comes together in one package. So you'll have the lower receiver, and as you can see right here, like I said, this swivel is attached to the actual lower receiver itself. So it spins out, and yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. It functions well, locks into place well. It doesn't have a lot of wobble and things of that nature. Just enough wobble, I think, because you're using an actual rifle. So when it comes to you using it and the concussion or the, going back and forth with the buffer and all that, is just enough to, get it right, but the tolerance are still like top notch. So shout out to Shield Arms for making such a fantastic lower receiver that has that option on it. Okay, so that's pretty much everything outside of talking about the Unity riser mount, which I kind of spoke of when I was talking about the EOTech, and the riser mount, like I said, is by Unity. But other than that, that's pretty much it, man. Everything going here, as you can see, is the build that I wanted to build out. If anything I would change would probably just be some of the goon tape coloring and things of that nature. Like I said, I wrapped this in the camo color just for the thumbnail, in order for it to, be a little more attention grabbing, so you know exactly what it is that I'm going to be talking about. But this is it, man. I've put about 1,000 rounds or so through this rifle. No issues at all. If I did have an issue, it was only because of primer strikes and stuff like that, and it just pretty much comes from having reload ammo or cheap ammo and things of that nature. It was not been pressed right or anything like that, but I've never had any malfunctions with this rifle at all. I love this rifle. I think this might have been, no, this wasn't my first build. Well, yeah, I guess you could say this was kind of like my first build that I, built out for the majority of. I meant to tell you that the internals inside of here are Geisley internals from a Geisley lower parts kit. So everything on the inside, springs, detents and stuff like that. The takedown pins, like I say, all less guys. That's it, man. I don't really have anything else to tell you guys about it. I mean, it's, you know, it's what it is. It's perfect. I love this. And I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Thank you for whoever it was that requested it. I'm gonna try to look down in the comment section and see if I can find you and kind of shout you out within the information section. But I appreciate you for asking about it. And I told you I was gonna get it out to y'all. So here you go. It's Navy Vet 88. Peace.